Amazon takes to the skies. The Nuggets force Jazz into Game 7. And India's economy shrinks by a quarter. Last quarter. All that and more on this week's episode of Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. Hello and welcome to Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. Hey, why don't you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're here with us before we get into all the juicy goods and what our picks are going to be for today. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you go and see us on our Twitter page at PodcastSEP, at PodcastSEP. We got to say it twice. Make sure it's twice as nice. And we got our man Kurt over where, I don't know, man. You're a little bit north of me. Are you getting some rain up there, bruh?
Just a tiny bit, yeah.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well.
Excellent.
We got
anything?
Nothing much, man. I'm just chilling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just normal every day.
We're just getting rolling here, man.
We got some really good stories for today. We got, some pretty good.
I'm super excited about this. Yeah, this week's stories.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, a couple of fun ones too. So, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should just roll right into these.
Sure.
Because these people are like, what? That was an amazing opening.
Sure, yeah. And here's the thing, like, always, comment down below your picks as well, as we do ours. And we'll take a look at what we picked last time, too. So you guys see if what you picked was the same as us. So, talking about what we talked about last week, didn't we bring this up last week, or was that 2 weeks ago? TikTok. That was a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, TikTok.
Maybe it wasn't last week.
A couple weeks ago.
But it was a couple videos ago we talked about TikTok and how they're trying to get a deal. They're trying to basically sell themselves because Trump he wants to put the lockdown on them, and I don't know. I don't know what their financial situation is, but apparently they're very close to a deal. At one point Microsoft was, I guess, in the mix, in the conversation for companies to buy them out. But apparently they're close to a deal. It's kind of in limbo. It's close, but there could be some Chinese rules that might get in their way of selling. But that's the chatter today. Just broke like a few hours ago that there's a deal that's very close. So hey, TikTok might stay around. I don't know if they'll have a different name.
Do we know if Amazon's the one acquiring? Do we know if Amazon's the one acquiring that, or excuse me, I should say Microsoft? Are they the ones that they're getting a close deal with? Dude, I heard it floated around too that Walmart was trying to get in on the TikTok game. Did you hear about that?
I hadn't heard about that. No one knows for sure what it is, but I have a couple of names here. I think. Yeah. There's a couple on the story here from Barron's.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it here. Okay. Oh, yeah. It says Walmart, Microsoft, and Oracle are the leading bidders. Okay, so maybe it still will be Microsoft. So it's a group.
Yeah.
I don't know what Oracle is.
So I think Oracle might be a part of Amazon. Or, sorry, Microsoft. I don't know why I keep saying Amazon.
Well, they have their own
Microsoft.
stock ticker and everything. But
oh, okay. So then they're different.
Together with the investment firms General Atlantic, Sequoia Capital, and Kawatu Management. So anyway, CNBC said the price is likely to be in the $20 billion to $30 billion range. That's pretty good for a little startup company that wasn't around a year ago.
That's substantial.
You know what I mean?
Dude, imagine starting that. Imagine being the person that was like, dude, like Vine needs a re-release.
Yeah, it's basically you just copied Vine's business model or whatever. You copied their premise and you just I don't know what happened to Vine. I thought it had financial issues. A lot of these startup tech things, little social media things, people get a lot of first round investing, but then they just don't draw. They draw like a first crew of followers, but then as the months go on, they don't get recurring like new users, and so they kind of like overgrow themselves. They outpace themselves, and they kind of implode from inside. So
so as can happen.
So we'll see. But TikTok is big. So
yeah, I would be interested in seeing Walmart acquire them because I think that's the one leg they're lacking. That data aspect.
That's true. That's true. It might not be their specialty, but
purchases.
If they want to move into that space to keep their sustainability going, for sure.
Yeah.
So the next story we have on the docket is Amazon. I'm sorry.
Amazon.
Amazon drone delivery has been approved. I don't know if they put together a plan.
I think we got a name. I think we got a name
Yeah,
though
Amazon.
for it. Amazon.
So I don't know if they put a plan together, but FAA cleared their drone delivery fleet, whatever plans, or
Dude,
they cleared them to start rolling it out. I guess I don't know. This has been talked about for a long time. We heard about this years ago. Drones being able to deliver packages, so you don't have to put you don't have to hire drivers and put them on the roads and do all these map out all the routes of where the drivers need to drive. The drone just goes across. It doesn't need the roadway network. And plus,
that's
labor.
crazy.
I'm sure it's not. I mean, with battery technology, who knows what the energy savings is? I don't know.
I imagine that there's like a kind of like a space issue as far as just like housing those are concerned. So I wonder to what extent those are going to be more of just like, also like like they need ever increasing more space the larger the packages, obviously.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure
this is like
it's something that might start like smaller packages, obviously. Larger packages still go by trucks, but like the small ones that drones that are on the market right now can easily handle, that are light, it's weight based.
Yeah, I mean they do that with like phones and stuff. Like people stick their phone to like those little drones and fly them around and stuff. I mean these are things that you can deliver, and so long as no one is like shooting them down out of the sky.
And that's the thing. Like you have drones now. Maybe if Amazon's maybe trying to lead the way, but other companies might try to come in. Like UPS might try to do their own fleet. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
And so once you get tons of these things flying around, and who knows where they're being stored, I don't know how long a drone can distance-wise travel before it needs recharging and stuff. So they might have places within the city that the drones can return to and stuff. But if you got all these drones flying around, that's why the FAA needs to be involved, because drones colliding into each other, I guess. I mean, they fly probably low enough to where planes and stuff like that, helicopters, don't even really need to worry about them. But when they interfere with each other, man, you could have a package falling on your head in the middle of the city.
Soon enough, we're gonna in those really big in those really big dense cities that have huge sky rises, like New York City, obviously, and then probably there's hundreds or dozens, maybe not hundreds of other ones around the world. You could start to see on the outside of these buildings, the window kind of juts out a little bit maybe, and so it's like a little Amazon delivery portal, so the only way you can get there is being in the apartment or being in that part of the building, and that has ramifications for business people too, like their window offices and stuff. Those are really important and could be
because the drone can't deliver stuff if you're in the interior of a building to you.
Exactly.
But I'm thinking about just my apartment, and how the drivers, they drop the package and then they take a picture of it. And could the drone do all this stuff? Does the drone know where? I mean, does the drone have the mental capacity to know, leave it literally, right here instead of a few inches over, it'll be blocking the walkway, and it's just kind of not courteous. So it's weird things like that they're gonna have to figure out, because I've got an overhang and it's got to get underneath. It's just weird.
I imagine that they're just gonna probably pilot it a lot. This is gonna be
manual,
professional, manual for a while with autonomous in between.
Right.
Maybe even autonomous right up to the door, but just
if
whenever there's an error, they just go in and do it themselves.
That's a good thought.
And just log it. I mean, this is all this is Amazon's big thing, data. They've been collecting data for years and years, and that's the only way you can make it happen.
Yep. And so they reached a new milestone. So we'll see. Who knows how long it'll take before we start to see them
about to transform our whole lives again, all over again. Do it again. I'm down.
All right, well, let's move into sports now and talk about, I mean, we've got some series going on. NHL, NBA is going on, but first story, I just want to talk about this guy, John Ram, who I had never heard of before, really. Yeah. Who won the
I think pronounced Ram.
Oh, sorry, Ram. Sorry.
I might be wrong. Go ahead.
John Ram, who won the BMW championship, beating Dustin Johnson. Now, I've heard of Dustin Johnson. By draining a 66-foot birdie putt to win the whole thing. on Sunday.
Dang, son.
66 foot.
I heard that story too.
And they said it was wild. I haven't even looked at the video of it, but 66 feet. I mean, I'm just thinking that's a pretty long putt to begin with. But I don't know what kind of contour. If you got, I remember that one from years and years ago with Tiger Woods. He putted way up the hill, and then it came down the hill, and he basically won the thing based on that wild.
It's just
putt.
rolling. It wouldn't stop rolling. You're like, this thing's got to be coming to a stop soon, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So,
dude, those long putts are pretty like I don't even know how they even begin to judge the amount of power you've got to put behind something like that.
It's just practice.
So
it's
years
so easy
of practice. To just. Yeah, I know.
And then but the thing is, you have to know each course individually. You get if you haven't played on this course before, you might have a good idea based on all your experience of what to do, but it's only when you've played on a course and each hole by heart, know it like the back of your hand. Then you can no matter where you are, exactly where to put it. But besides that, every degree counts when it comes to trajectory of the balls.
Yeah. I mean, I've only ever put around a couple of times, and it's called the putt. so I don't necessarily have any expertise in that. But even that is challenging, just short holes like that. Putt's not 50, 60 feet, Come on.
The most you're actually putting it is 5 feet. If it's beyond 5 feet, you're not expected to make it. But that's an exciting way to end. I think he literally won the thing on the putt, which I think that kind of excitement is what golf needs, because sometimes it's you already know the winner basically. Yeah. Before anything happens. I mean, you already know the winner, unless the guy gets a quadruple bogus or whatever it's called. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, so that was congrats to John Rahm. Sorry, I mispronounced it.
I don't know if it's that for sure necessarily, but I'm just...
So...
Well, how is it spelled?
It's just R-A-H-M, so who knows?
So, yeah.
If I had watched the thing, I would have known. But so we've got NBA, they're, teams are moving into conference semifinals. We got some, and we also have NHL full swing. So we got some series going on, and our picks today are going to be, is going to be the Nuggets and the Jazz. Now, just got to talk about this for a second, because who was it? I thought I had it up, but I guess I don't. The name of the guy who...
Murray.
Yeah, Murray scored 50 points to force a Game 7, which is...
From Denver.
Heroic.
I'm going to pull the stats up right now.
That's when it might be in
the
cards
a more
for
active
you,
member of this conversation.
Yeah. And so, besides that, you got the Celtics and the Raptors playing Game 2 tonight, as far as when this video is being released, Tuesday night. The Nuggets and Jazz are playing tonight, Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Excellent. So that's gonna be interesting, and we got to make our pick about this.
Yeah,
Any thoughts?
We're not gonna go into the picks right now, but I'm looking just as a heads up. I'm looking here, and Donovan Mitchell. He had a good night too, though. He had 44 points, 6 rebounds. Huh?
From the Jazz?
From the Jazz, yeah. He had a really good night too. He had 44 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. I mean, it wasn't like this was a blowout game. I mean, it was, but it was okay, they had some talent, some players that were doing just as well on the other side, or nearly as well, I should say, because they still ended up losing.
And one thing that we're really not getting from all these playoff series that we're seeing in both leagues is the home away factor, which typically is really big, because you have someone who's favorited because it's a 7-game series and they play one more game at home, and usually it's if you have a Game 7, if you're at home, you have a much better advantage. So
yeah, exactly, that's a great point.
You don't really have that when you're in a bubble.
Weird.
Toronto for NHL and Orlando for NBA. The Nuggets are going to be at home technically for Game 7, but it's not going to be the same as being at home for a Game 7. But before we get into our picks, anything else you want to say about that before let's review the picks that we did last week?
Yeah, we'll review our picks first, and then I'll go ahead.
Okay.
And let you know what I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, sure. So last week we made picks about the Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston Bruins in the NHL.
That's right.
And also the Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and the Vancouver Canucks, right? Did I get that right?
Canucks. Yep.
And so both NHL. And so we actually picked really close. Like, we both picked Boston Bruins to win by 2 goals.
You mean close to each other?
To each other. We picked like nearly the same thing. And we both picked Golden Knights to beat the Canucks.
Yeah.
You picked by 2 goals.
Me by 2, you by 3?
I picked by 3.
Yeah.
And we were very wrong from what actually happened.
Yeah.
So I guess you technically won because, first of all, the Lightning ended up winning by 1. The Lightning are doing really well in that series.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we both got that wrong. And the Canucks won that game by 3 goals. So we were way high on the Golden Knights. But besides that game, the Canucks haven't won any other game. So the Golden Knights are still rolling over the Canucks right now. But just that one game,
we had the right intention, but the wrong
we picked
atmosphere.
it for the wrong game. Every series you're gonna have at least the teams at least gotta stand up unless they get swept. So.
Yeah.
So so we were wrong on both accounts. So maybe some other people listening picked something else, hopefully, and beat us.
Yeah.
that was your week to beat us.
Yeah, I'm letting my my heart go, because obviously, as we revealed last week and every other week probably, we are Tampa Bay fans, generally speaking. And obviously we just like sports for sports' sake. So I let my heart get into my picks usually, and I didn't allow it this week, and it cost me, man. I am never doing that again.
I'll tell you what, the Lightning, they've been really good in seasons past, but always, in my opinion, they had a lot of like offensive goal-scoring prowess, like flair, speed, but they never had that grit that they seem to have this year. Now, I'm not going to jinx them or anything. I mean, I'm always a pessimist about my own team, so there's...
You just said the word. That's even worse than... Just go ahead.
But they've done things like when they have a 1-goal advantage, they defensively lock down, and they don't try to push for another goal. Like if they're 2 goals up, they don't put numbers forward. They keep people back. They're very disciplined in that way, and they have a lot of guys that get in there and hit and make hits in the boards and stuff. So that was missing in years past. So that's interesting just as a Tampa Bay fan. But yeah, they're I didn't think that they would be, game 1 they lost, right?
They lost,
and then they've picked up every other game since then. So I was not high on them last week, but they're looking very good.
Yeah, I'm very, very pleased.
And so that brings us to our Dick's pick and Captain's log for today, which we're only going to do one game. We're going to do the NBA, the Game 7, because if we do anything else besides a Game 7, that's going to feel like it's imbalanced. So, Game 7, we're going to make our one pick, and it's going to be Utah Jazz against the Denver Nuggets. And what do you want to do, Richard? You want me to give my pick first? You always seem to give your pick
yours first.
Yeah, okay.
You can give yours first, because that way we can change it up a little bit.
And once again, the Nuggets are technically at home, but not that it matters that much. So
maybe it does.
I am going to pick for Captain's log Denver Nuggets to win by 3 points.
What?
Yeah.
Denver over the Jazz?
Absolutely, boys. Let's go.
What's the reasoning behind that? Give us a little background.
I did a little bit of looking up some stats, and Denver looked better, and they're coming off of hey, you could have beat us, but we forced Game 7, so now the pressure's back on you, and our boy scored 50 points, by the way, so we're going to keep feeding him the ball, and he's just going to keep doing the same thing unless you come up with an answer.
That's a good
point.
point.
All the pressure's on the Jazz right now.
That's a good point.
And they're going to crumble. That's all I'm saying.
Hearing your response, hearing that pick, I am inclined to change my pick.
Don't change your pick based on my pick.
For the sake of not, because I already made the pick. But I too picked the Nuggets, but I picked by 5.
Yeah, 3 is a really tight game. So I think that it's really a toss-up. I don't think that anyone really knows who's going to win this game, to be perfectly honest with you. Mine is going based on the fact that, like you said,
they're coming off of what they're back against the wall 2 games in a row. You know?
Yeah.
Like they know the feeling, and they stood, they put their backs against the wall and they said, "We got to win this game." They won. We got to win this game. They won. Now this is a game they still have to win, Like both teams have to win technically.
Yeah.
This game. So, but they have a proven record on have to win.
On must-win games. We'll they're already 1-0.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very good. Okay, so we both picked the Nuggets. So if you're listening, go ahead and comment your pick down below. Who do you think is going to win, the Jazz or the Nuggets, to go into, I think, the conference semifinals? Whoever wins this game goes into conference semifinals. So, okay, that's it for our picks for sports. Now let's get into stock talk.
Stock talk.
And let's talk about the story that we brought up at the beginning, Richard.
Yes.
Which is?
India.
Not looking good.
Down by a quarter last quarter.
24%.
So what are the actual numbers on that?
Yeah, 24%. Yeah. Their economy shrunk in the quarter from April to July. April to July, is that a quarter? No, hold on. I got to pull up the story.
Yeah, I think that is.
April, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, April to June. April to June.
Yeah.
So it shrank 23.9% from the previous year, and the forecasts were for 18.3% decline. So they even beat the bad forecasts. India, I'll tell you
by
what,
like 5%.
India is not looking good. Like their cases, their death rate, everything that the U.S. is bad with the number of cases, India is just like one step behind the U.S. And they are just like, the numbers are coming out every day now. They're breaking records for number of cases. Yeah. It's not good, and it's affected their economy pretty bad. They don't have the kind of tools I think that the U.S. has as far as currency power to be able to like pump money into the economy. So it's just, it's just not great.
It's a crazy fest out there, man. That is wild. Honestly.
I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. By the way, this is measured in GDP. That's their gross domestic product shrunk by that much.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know that it's super surprising. I mean, the case loads kind of felt a little low for a country with such a big population.
Yeah, that's true,
and such a
they have
I think
so many dense cities.
Yeah, relatively, I think they have a lot more freedom of movement. I would imagine than some other countries. So
yeah,
so like, it was weird that nothing was going on.
Yeah.
So now
I don't know.
I think now they have the resources to actually figure out where they stand.
Maybe
things are getting.
Yeah, it might be a testing thing. Like they were exploding before, but they weren't able to test at the rate that like the Western countries were able to test at. But they've got resources. It's not like they're completely all poor, but.
Yeah. No, of course not.
By the way, their largest. Let's see. Let me read this from a Reuters article. Some private economists, however, said the fiscal year that began in April could see so they're talking fiscal year starting in April. So that's amortizing some of the losses over a year. So it might be the worst that quarter. We don't know. Maybe this quarter is going to be even worse. But there were forecasts that said the fiscal year beginning in April could see a contraction of nearly 10%, the worst performance since India won independence from British colonial rule in 1947, and likely to push millions more into poverty. So 10% is their worst fiscal year decline, and just this quarter though was 23.9. So we'll see how that shapes out over the rest of the year. But if that keeps up, this will way blow out, and I think it already did. I think they said, from what they've measured, 24% is the largest decline for a quarter in their history.
That's pretty substantial. And honestly, I mean, 25%, holy cannoli.
Yeah, that's like a quarter of your people not having a job.
Yeah. It's
in a country where people are already pretty close to poverty. It's not like they have the U.S. standard of living to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
And it says consumer spending, the main driver of the economy, dropped 31.2% year on year in this quarter, compared to a 2.6% fall the previous quarter. So, yeah, India not doing so well.
I mean, I don't know that I have like a lot of insight on that necessarily. I don't know what their biggest economic exports or anything like that. I imagine they do a lot of standard East Asia kind of stuff, like manufacturing /
I'm not sure. I mean,
service.
But the thing is, like, they are a big economy. Obviously, they have tons of people. They're close to China with like total number of total population, and they're not completely poor. I think if you were to rank the economies of the world, I think India would probably be top 10. I don't know that, but as far as total GDP or whatever, so
I don't know. I would have to check that.
yeah, I don't know, but obviously they've got
I
tons of
believe
people.
it.
So
Yeah,
and they're good allies.
exactly.
You know, they're allies with Australia and U.S. and stuff. But
Yeah.
so that's
They got
just
the
that was
the
just
roots,
on my
the same
radar. I
roots as
saw the
America.
number, and look, we're all looking at numbers across all countries. I mean, every country is going to get slammed with this thing. So it's just a matter of how much. And sometimes when you look at a stat like that, you're just lucky that you live here, where yes, the economy is not doing well, but we have a lot of props. We have a lot of like unemployment and stuff like that. Even if you have lost your job, some people, a lot of people are doing just fine. So
Yeah. Exactly.
anyway, that brings us into our stock picks, which last week I'm going to just go over what we picked, and then we'll talk about what we got going on this week. So last week I picked Crocs for my big pick, which only went up It only went up 0.19%, so it basically didn't do anything.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Whoa, you're really gunning for the ceiling up there, aren't you?
Well, you're the one to talk because you picked, for Richard's hot take, you picked Groupon, which was a good pick. I mean, they were doing really hot up to then, and then, they haven't really, they basically had a blank week, down only 1.2%, 1.27%. So both of our stocks, like, didn't do anything on the week. But whatever.
Yeah, well,
So
I mean,
once again, someone else
it could have been worse.
comment your picks down below, because you have a good chance of beating us. It seems like. No.
Whatever you said almost could have. Well, I don't know. There was a couple of bad areas.
Yeah,
of
I
the
don't know.
economy, but
Let's see. I don't know how the whole market did. I'm inclined to say it didn't do that poorly.
yeah, I mean, over the last week, net was good,
Yeah.
but
I'm getting positive for the S&P.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Up 1.8%, which is pretty dang good. So.
yeah, but I mean, like small dips like that, it's not unheard of for companies. Honestly, Groupon, I wasn't totally expecting a ton, because the reason I picked them was because they were growing so quickly. On a one day, they were like
they were doing
top
well.
10 movers. Yeah. On that one day, so I picked them because they were like a high level, high visibility stock.
I would hold on
they
to
didn't
that.
sustain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's get into Richard's hot take and Kurt's big pick for today.
Yeah.
Do you want to go
Let's
first?
do Kurt's big pick.
Oh, okay. You want me to
I'm
go
gonna
first?
say you do first, because we got the trend going.
All right, let's
now.
do it. I'm going to pick, and let me see if I can just pull up the data a little bit real quick. I'm
pulling up the data too, so you do you.
I am picking BCC is the ticker, which is Boise Cascade Company. Now you might be asking, what is Boise Cascade Company?
I have no idea. I've never heard of this before.
It's I don't even really know what it is, but they make like wood units for building structures or something like that, and they're based in Boise.
That's an interesting stock pick.
So,
Why?
but they had some good ratings, some good buy ratings. They're up. Let's see, they've really had a fluctuant month. I guess they're down over the last month, but over the last 6 months, they're up 26%. They're in a little bit of a dip today. They're down, but look at their P/E ratio. It's super low, which means that it's a good buy opportunity because their price is really low compared to their earnings. So yeah, I looked at some stuff for them. They're down 5% today, so it's just take it as
I
a
love how
sale.
you just like breezed by the fact that they grew by like a quarter in like a few months.
In 6 months, yeah. Their 1 year, I think, is more impressive. They had a big dip during the COVID sell-off,
Yeah.
but their year isn't necessarily better, but their year is 53%. So pretty good company. The year is kind of, it's not as steady as that. As if you look at the year, their 5 year is not as steady as their 1 year. So don't expect it for super steady gains, but I think that they're in a place where if you buy them, it might not be a week play, a 1 week play, but Who knows? They're on like I said, they're on a 5% discount just on today. So just take that as as them being on sale.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think that today in particular, we might find that a number of stocks might be on sale. So if anyone's taking advantage of it, first thing in the morning on
for sure.
a Tuesday, you stretch out, check out the market while you're listening to us. Okay, guys?
Absolutely.
We might have some, might be something there that you can get for cheap. So I guess for
Richard's
my hot take, Richard's hot take this week. Forgive me if we've done this one before, but if we have, I'm doing it again because I think this could be a winner. I'm gonna say Boeing, which is stock symbol BA. Have we done that one before? You might have done this one.
Either you or me. I might have done it, I'm thinking, but I don't know.
Have we done it before? Okay. Well, I don't know for sure.
I have to go back and check the records.
But a lot of travel stocks are down today. Like, they were doing really well at the end of last week, but a lot of travel stocks are really far down today. And so this comes to what you were saying. Take it as like a sale price kind of. And Boeing, I just don't like. They have so many. Like, we talked about this before, man. They have so many assets, and I think that we made out good the last time we picked Boeing, but they've been flat for like a pretty significant amount of time now. And I'm like, dude, it's time to like, I mean, how much longer could all of this possibly be going on? I think this might be a play for a little bit longer, and I know that we might be doing a repick here, but I just think that there is something to be said about that company and how much influence it has on the market generally.
Yeah,
so.
and a little call to just check out all the travel stocks, because I agree with you. I mean, when we're talking about, there's real talk about vaccines being out before the year is over. And, if that's true, like I've said this from the beginning of all this stuff. I said when the vaccines come out, that's when everything starts going back to normal. Because old people that aren't even elderly, but necessarily, but just in their older age, but have a lot of money, would normally be traveling and spending, they'll just get the vaccine and then they're good to go. And they'll start spending, they'll start traveling. So, yeah, that's a really good point. If vaccines come out sooner rather than later, like if you've got gold and stuff, hold on to them until the vaccines start rolling out. Then dump your gold, because gold will stop going up the minute certainty returns to the market. You know what I mean? So so that's kind of something to keep in mind. Vaccines really answer they just answer so much, because once someone's vaccinated, once the population gets mass vaccinated, it's like you can do whatever you want now. You can go back into the into the public. So I think like Boeing certainly is like if it's not a 1 week play, it's a long-term play over the next year, over the next 2 years certainly. But yeah, you can feel with all those travel stocks, you can feel the upward pressure. It's like they want to go up, but something's holding them down. But eventually they're just gonna blow through it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, people want to be able to spend the money they make, and I think that there's a number of people out there that are still making money. So
what should the people do, Richard?
Old people, huh?
Sorry, finish your point.
Oh, old people, man. Just like you said, old people, they have money. And they want to spend it.
Yeah. Don't underestimate old people and their retirement savings. So what should the people do, Richard, if they have a stock that they think is going to do well?
If they have a stock that they think is going to do well,
what should they do for this YouTube video?
They might consider, just probably. Go ahead and comment it down below. Let us know what your thoughts are about the stock market, where you think things are headed. Are we going towards a cliff? I don't know. Kurt and I have no idea necessarily, but you might have some insight.
And
go ahead and leave that comment.
And what stock do you think is going to beat our two picks over the next week? That's a tough one. But with
I think that they can do it.
I think that wraps up Stock Talk. That wraps up our episode for today. We covered a good amount of stuff, man.
Dude, you led us right through that with primetime ease, man. That was a fun episode.
All right, well, that does wrap up this episode, so make sure that you are subscribed so you can follow us each week, and click that like button if you enjoyed, and let us know by commenting down below, and put all those picks, like I said, right along with your comment down below. That has been another episode of Short End of the Pick with Richard and Kurt. Until next time, well, I guess we'll catch you on the next week. How about that? Until then, peace.